The National Security Council on Friday said it was considering the appropriate action to be taken on the recent release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. The Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Dingyadi, disclosed this to State House correspondents shortly after the NXC meeting chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Aso Rock Villa. Dingyadi, who spoke alongside his counterpart, is the Minister of Interior, Ralph Aregbesola, said Kanu was only discharged. He added that the federal government of Nigeria would exploit other legal instruments to pursue the matter. However, he noted that the council did not discuss a possible political route that Malami had raised last November. The council, he said, only discussed the appeal court judgment, noting that solutions to such matters could be considered so far as they were not sub judice. The Court of Appeal in Abuja on Thursday upheld the appeal of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra and ordered his release. But a statement signed by the AGF spokesperson, Dr. Umar Gwandu, assented that Kanu was only discharged and not acquitted. Consequently, the appropriate legal options before the authorities will be exploited and communicated accordingly to the public, the statement added. Briefing journalists on Friday, Dingyadi echoed the AGF stance, saying the federal government of Nigeria was considering other options. The issue of Kanu has been raised and the council was briefed on the state of things on the matter, and it was observed that Kanu was discharged, but he was not acquitted. So, the government is considering the appropriate action to be taken on the matter, and Nigerians will be notified of the position that will be finally taken on the matter in due course, the minister stated. The Vice President, Yemi Osibanjo, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, the National Secretary Advisor, Magaji, General Babagana Ugano, retired, and the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, attended the Friday's meeting. Also in attendance were the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yaya, the Chief of Navy Staff, the Vice Admiral, and the Chief of Air Staff, and the Inspector General of Police, Usma Babar. The Minister of Defense, Major General Barish Magashi, retired, the Director General of the Department of State Services, Bikchi Yusuf Buchi, the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Ahmed Abubakar, and the Chief of Defense Intelligence, Major General Samuel Adeboye, were equally present. Meanwhile, Ifeanyi Ejiofor, lawyer to the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, has asked the AGF to comply with the order of the Abuja Division of the Court of Appeal. He also advised Malami to consider voluntary resignation for allegedly exposing the federal government to international embarrassment and ridicule. He was responding to the statement by the Special Assistant, Media and Public Relations to the AGF, Dr. Omai Gandu, in reaction to the appeal court judgment which quashed the charges of terrorism preferred against him. According to him, the reference by the AGF to the charge pending against Nnamdi Kanu before he left Nigeria in 2017 and the indication that the federal government may continue with the charge really shows his total disconnect with the law, with great respect to his office. Malami had said that the federal government was considering various legal options, including proceeding with the court that were pending against Nnamdi Kanu before the invasion of his house by soldiers on September 14, 2017. But Ejiofor said the AGF should be appropriately guided in law. He said, I implore him to read the full judgment of the Court of Appeal immediately, comply with orders made therein, and possibly consider the most appropriate option of voluntarily resigning for exposing the federal government to this international embarrassment and ridicule. Now, for the avoidance of doubt, the federal government has no options. It has only one opinion, namely, namely to appeal against the judgment of the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. And the exercise of this latter option shall not constitute a bar to immediate compliance with the order of the Court of Appeal, which directed the immediate and unconditional release of Onyendo Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The order made by the learned justice of the Court of Appeal is sacrosanct and must be obeyed immediately without further ado, urging that no further charges can be sustained against his client. The defense lawyer stated on appeal, the Court of Appeal struck out the whole charge and held that the lower court had no jurisdiction to try Onyendo Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That being so, that charge that has been pending against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu since 2015 and contains counts of alleged offenses committed by him before he escaped being killed in Nigeria in 2017 no longer exists. It has been struck out. Ejiofor, in a live Facebook broadcast, also fled the Department of State Services of not releasing his client 24 hours after the court orders describing their action as illegal. I'm dropping it here. Kindly share your thoughts below the comment section.